Students, this is continuation of the animal kingdom, that is part 6. In the last video we have studied the subphylum vertebrata. Those were the reptiles and amphibians. In this class we will be studying the subphylum in the vertebrata, the superclass Tetrapoda, class Aves. So the class Aves general characteristic. Usually class Aves includes all the birds. So presence of, what are the general characteristic means? Presence of feathers and beak. Forelimbs are modified into wings. So these are said to be the wings which will help them to for the flight. So ಈ ಫೈಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸಬ್ ಫೈಲಮ್ ವರ್ಟೆಬ್ರೇಟಾನಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಏವ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಡ್ರೈ ಸ್ಕಿನ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಡ್ರೈ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ದ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ at the base of the tail. So usually tail region alle, in the tail region we don't find the oil glands, and the skin is said to be quite dry, and it will be off without glands. So except the oil gland will be present throughout the body except at the base of the tail. Then the hind limbs have the scales. So the scales means here you can see the body will be covered by the numerous scale-like structure, and they are modified for walking and also for swimming or clasping the tree branches. Clasping means like this holding of the tree branches, we call it as a clasping. Then they have long hollow pneumatic bones. So bones ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉದ್ದ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ hollow. So this is pneumatic bone. What do you mean by pneumatic bone? Means hollow bones which are meant for usually for the flight, and the presence of the lumen, we call it as a pneumatic bone, empty space. So there will be empty space found in the bone structure, which we call it, hence the bones are said to be as a ನ್ಯೂಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಬೋನ್ಸ್. ನ್ಯೂಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಬೋನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ಗಳಿರೋ ಕಾರಣ, ಎಂಟಿ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಅದು ಹಾರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಾಡಿ ಲೈಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರಗಳ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಲೈಟ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏರ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇರ್ತವ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನ್ಯೂಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ ಟಿಂಪ್ಯಾನಿಯಂ represents the ear. So the ears are being represented by the structure which we call it as a tympanum. Even tympanum is present in the reptiles also. So in birds also we find the tympanum ears. So this is the tympanum which is near to the eyes. So behind the eyes you can find the tympanum and the bird will be having the feather. This is a feather and the beak. These are the some of the general characteristic of the class Aves. Okay, next, so in the class Aves, the next general characteristic, the heart is made up of 4 chamber. Heart 4 chamber irtada, adralli 2 ventricle, 2 auricle. So here you can see the 2 auricle and the 2 ventricle. So the heart is made up of 4 chamber. Then it is homeotherms. Homeotherms ಅಂದ್ರೆ warm blooded animals ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪೈಕ್ಲೋಥರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ, ಪೈಸಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದು warm blooded animals. So they are known as a homeotherms. Then digestive tract has a additional chamber, the crop and the gizzard. So ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ digestive system. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡುವಂತ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೇನೆ, this is completely the digestive system which you can see, or the alimentary canal. It has a esophagus. So it has a esophagus. Below to the esophagus is a crop region, and these are below to the crop you find the gizzard also. Gizzard and crop are said to be the additional chambers present in its digestive tract. So in the digestive tract ಅಲ್ಲಿ additional chambers ಗಳಿರ್ತಾವ, ಒಂದು crop, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು gizzard. So this is completely the digestive system of the bird. Then double respiration. It has air sacs connected to the lungs. So ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಬಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇರ್ತದ. ಒಂದು ಏರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿರ್ತಾವ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್, ಇದು ಏರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಈ ಪಿಂಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ lungs. So it will be having double respiration, one through by the air sacs and another one by the lungs. Then internal fertilization. So fertilization ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಆಗೋ ಕಾರಣ ಅದನ್ನ internal fertilization ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Then oviparous. Oviparous means they are egg laying animals. ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಇಡುವಂತ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಓವಿಪರಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್. Then coming to homeotherms, animals having ability to maintain a constant body temperature are called as homeotherms. So ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಜನರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಹೋಮಿಯೋಥರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡುವಷ್ಟು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಅವನ್ನ ಹೋಮಿಯೋಥರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So here are the some of the examples of the aves. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ನೋಡುವಂತ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾರ್ವಸ್. ಕಾರ್ವಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೋ. ದ ಕಾಮನ್ ನೇಮ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಗೆಗೆ ಕ್ರೋ ಅಂತೀವಿ. zoological term corvus. Then columba. Columba is a zoological term. It is commonly known as pigeon. Okay. So it is commonly called as what? Pigeon. So this is corvus, crow. Then pisticula. That is pisticula is the parrot. The common name of the common name is parrot. The zoological term is pisticula for parrot. Then Strutio. Strutio is a zoological term. The common name is ostrich. Ostrich nodirtiri photos allalla. Then the next one is pavo. Pavo means peacock. Okay, peacock. Then next is penguin. The penguin, the zoological term is Epidendropis. Okay, so this is the zoological term. Then vulture. Vulture is a common term. Zoological term is Neophron. Okay. Next is class Mammalia. Class Mammalia means the one which give rise to the young ones. Those are also said to be as a viviparous. Mammalian character is that it will be having the mammary glands through which it will feed its young ones. So that is the main characteristic of the class Mammalia. Even we come under the class Mammalia. So here are the some of the general characteristic of the Mammalia. So mammals andre ಅವಕ್ಕೆ mammary glands ಇರ್ತವ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವುಗಳ offsprings ಗೆ ಹಾಲನ್ನ ಕುಡಿಸ್ತವೆ. So that is the main characteristic of the class Mammalia. That is the first point one day I have written over here. That is presence of mammary glands, milk producing glands. Then the skin is with the hair. So the skin will be having the hairs. Then the third point, there are two pairs of limbs for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming or flying. And there ಎರಡು pair ಕಾಲುಗಳು ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. So here you can see there will be two pairs usually for what all the function: walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming or flying. Then external ear. So here you can see in the human also we have shown this is external ears, which we call it as a pinnae. So here in the cow also you can see the two pinnae here. Yes. Okay. Then the heart is four chambered. So it has in the human heart, I think so would have been studied in your lower classes. It will be having two auricles and the two ventricles. So this is two ventricles and here will be the two auricle structure. Okay. Then they are homeotherms. Homeotherms means just now I told the organism have an ability to maintain the constant temperature of the body. So such organism we call it as a homeotherms. The next general characteristic of class Mammalia, they have well developed alimentary canal, andre digestive system well developed ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. It starts from the buccal cavity, ends with that of the rectum and the anus. So the well developed alimentary canal is present. Then dentition is heterodonton, thecodont and diphodont. So ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರು ತರ ಹಲ್ಲುಗಳು ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಒಂದು heterodont, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು thecodont, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು diphodont. So ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದಾವ. So this is heterodont. So here is a picture of the dentition. So the tooths are being classified into three types such as heterodont, thecodont and diphodont. Respiration occurs by lungs. Usirata lungs alli aguvanthadu. So expiration means respiration takes places through that of the lungs. Sex are separate. That means ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಗಂಡು separate ಇರ್ತವೆ. The sex means are separate means the male and the female are found in the mammalia. That is one of the characteristic. Fertilization is always internal means fusion of gametes. Fertilization ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. They are viviparous. Viviparous ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, they give rise to the young ones. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು, it is giving rise to the young ones. So that's why they are said to be viviparous except echidna and platypus. So echidna means this is the picture which I have shown. Echidna and the platypus. This both will lay the eggs. Development is usually direct. So these are the some of the general characteristic of the class Mammalia. Okay. So some examples of class Mammalia are Ornithorhynchus, that is platypus, then Macropus, that is kangaroo, then Petropus, flying fox, then Macaca, that is monkey. So you know Macaca means monkey. Once again I'll tell, Macropus means kangaroo, Petropus flying fox, Ornithorhynchus means platypus. So these are some of the examples of Mammalia. Okay, these are some more examples of class Mammalia such as Camelus, that is camel, Rattus, that is rat, Canis, these all are zoological terms, dog. So ನಾಯಿಗೆ canis ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Then Felis, cat, Elephas, plant. Okay, so the next is Delphinus, that is so commonly it is called as common dolphin. Then Balano Petra, that is blue whale. Then Panthera leo, lion. Panthera tigris, tiger. Equus means horse. So this is a completion for the chapter Animal Kingdom chapter, which is chapter 4. So now we will learn the next chapter, that is chapter 7, structural organization in animals. So some of the structural organization we will understand in this video only. So this video will be having the two topics, that is the end part of the animal kingdom, which includes the superclass Tetrapoda, the two classes, that is class Aves and class Mammalia. Okay, now we will lead into the next chapter. So that is structural organization in animals. In structural organization in the animals, so startingly we should understand the anatomical of an animal means we should learn the histology of the animals. What is histology means? The study of the tissue is called as a histology. The study of animal tissue is called as animal histology. So ಇದರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿನೂ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. Here is a animal tissues. So what is a tissue? Tissue andre a tissue is a group of similar cells having specific function and origin. We call it as a animal tissue. The animal tissue is classified into four types. One is epithelial tissue, next is connective tissue, then muscular tissue, then neural tissue. These are the four types of the animal tissues. Next, first one is the epithelial tissue, which we call it as a epithelium. So epithelium means usually the dermal layer of the body which is made up of the epithelial tissue we tell. Even the inner body parts are being covered by the epithelial tissues. So what are the characteristics of this epithelial tissue means? It has a free surface that faces the body fluid or outside the environment. So outside the environment ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶರೀರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is made up of epithelial. So free surface that faces the body fluid and also outer environment. ಹೊರಗಿನ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅದು ಏನ್ರಿಂದ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ epithelial tissue. It covers or lines the body or body parts. It covers what? The whole body parts. Our skin covers the whole body, and it forms a line to the body structure. Then cells are compactly arranged with little intercellular matrix. So here you can see how the cells are being arranged with the little bit of the matrix in the center. They are quite compactly arranged. Next, in the epithelial tissue is classified into two types. One is simple, another one is compound epithelial tissue. Simple epithelial tissue is made up of a single layer of cells. Can you see? This is a single layer of a cell. Whereas a compound epithelial tissue, it is made up of a multi-layered of the cell. So that is the main difference between the simple epithelial tissue and also the compound epithelial tissue. Next, so the epithelial tissue in the simple epithelium, the first one which we are studying is simple epithelium. Simple epithelium is composed of a single layer of cells. One single layer of cells ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರ್ತವ simple epithelium ಅಲ್ಲಿ. In that it is classified into three types. ಮೂರ್ ತರ ಇರ್ತವ. ಒಂದು squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium and columnar epithelium. Then it lines the body cavities, ducts and tubes. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ organ system ನ lining ಮಾಡಿರ್ತದ. So it will be line the body cavities, ducts and also the tubes. Then third point, based on the structural modification of the cells, the simple epithelium is classified into three types. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಆಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಮಾಡಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿದೆಯೋ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೂರ್ ತರ ವಿಂಗಡಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕ್ವಾಮಸ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಯೂಬಾಯ್ಡಲ್, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಾಲಮ್ನಾರ್ ಎಪಿಥೀಲಿಯಂ. Coming to the squamous epithelium. The squamous epithelium is a flattened structure cells. All the cells are quite flattened. So the first point whatever I have written is, it is thin layer of a flattened cells with irregular boundaries, and usually we find the squamous epithelium. This is alveolus, we can tell, which is in the lungs. Okay, so alveolus, the air sac is covered by the squamous epithelium. So here also outwardly it is covered by the squamous epithelium of the capillary. So where it is found means it is found in the walls of the blood vessels and the lungs alveoli. Then what is the major function of squamous epithelium na ಕಾರ್ಯ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, it forms a diffusion boundary. Okay, what do you mean by diffusion? Means the movement of the water, air, that is gas, from the region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration until it is filled and maintains an equilibrium in a given space. That what we call it as diffusion. So its main function is to form a diffusion boundary. Okay, coming to in the simple epithelium, the second type is cuboidal epithelium or cubical we call. ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯೂಬಾಯ್ಡಲ್ ಎಪಿಥೀಲಿಯಂ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ದ ಸೆಲ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವಯರ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯೂಬಾಯ್ಡಲ್ ಎಪಿಥೀಲಿಯಂ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಇಸ್, it is composed of cube-like cells. Okay, so it is called as cuboidal. It is found in the ducts of the glands and tubular parts of nephrons. ಇದು usually kidney ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುವಂತ cells ಗಳು. So it is nephrons are usually what structural and functional unit of the excretory system. So it is usually bound in the nephron. So this is a single nephron drawing which has been shown. In the nephron we can see the cuboidal epithelium. See this one. This is what? Cuboidal epithelium. Then what is its main function? Other function secretion and absorption. So the function is secretion and absorption. Then epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule, that is PCT of nephron, has a microvilli. So here you can see this one. So this is proximal convoluted tubule, that is PCT. The proximal convoluted tubule will also be having the microvilli, and it is also made up of the cuboidal epithelial tissue. Okay. So next is the third one, columnar epithelium. ಹೆಸರು ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ cells ಗಳು ಇರ್ತದ ಉದ್ದ. So here it is look like a columns. So here you can see all looks like a column. So they are said to be as a columnar epithelial tissue. So the columnar epithelial tissue, they are usually composed of a tall and slender cells. Their nuclei are located at the base. So usually the nucleus will be at the base only. So here you can see most of the nucleus are at the base. Here you can see this is the single villus which is present in the intestine. In the villi you can see the it is composed of columnar epithelium, where the nucleus is said to be what? At the base. Then the free surface may have the microvilli. Then they are found in lining of the stomach and intestine. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತವೆ ಇವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ intestine ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಕಾಣ್ತವೆ. What is the main function? The function is secretion and absorption. Next is ciliated epithelium. In the epithelial tissue, the second one we call it as a ciliated. Cilia andre hair like structure ಕೂದಲುಗತ್ತೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವ cells ಗೆ cilia ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ciliated ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ epithelial tissue ಗೆ cilia ಇರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಅದನ್ನ ciliated epithelium ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So this ciliated epithelium is a modified columnar or cuboidal cells. The columnar cells ಅಥವಾ cuboidal cells ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ hairs ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ciliated columnar epithelial cells we call, and also ciliated cuboidal cells or the tissues we call. So here the first point which I have given here is cells bear cilia on their surface. So here ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ. So it bears the cilia on the surface. So if it is found on the columnar cells, as I said you, it is called as ciliated columnar epithelial tissue. Then it is present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ bronchioles in the lungs ಒಳಗಡೆನೋ ಈ ತರ hair like structures ಕಾಣ್ತವೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು cilia ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And also in a fallopian tube. So this is the ಇದು fallopian tube ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So inside the fallopian tubes, this is the fallopian tubes. This one is the fallopian tube. Inside the fallopian tube, we also find the cilia, which helps in the movement of the ova. Then, what is the main function? Adra functions ಏನು ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳೇನಂದ್ರೆ to move the particles or the mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. That is the main function of the ciliated epithelium. The next is glandular epithelium. The glandular epithelium means they are mainly meant for secretion. Secretion ಅಂದ್ರೆ storage ಗೆ ಮೇನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರೋಂತದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಎಪಿಥೀಲಿಯಂ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ನಾರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬಾಯ್ಡಲ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಕಾಲಮ್ನಾರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯೂಬಾಯ್ಡಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸೆಕ್ರಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಶೇಖರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತವನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಎಪಿಥೀಲಿಯಂ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್, ಎರಡು ತರ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಲ್ಟಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್. ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಸೆಲ್. So they consist of isolated glandular cells, example goblet cells of the alimentary canal. Then multicellular means they consist of cluster of cells, example is salivary glands. Next, so this is the glandular epithelium. Based on the mode of pouring or their secretion, glands are classified into two types. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಏನು ಶೇಖರಣೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೋ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡು ತರ ಅದನ್ನ ವಿಂಗಡಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಏನನ್ನ ಶೇಖರಣೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೋ ದೇಹದೊಳಗಡೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಂಡೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂಥರ ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಎಂಡೋಕ್ರೈನ್ಗೆ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಹಂಗೆ ಸೋರಕತ್ತವ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ exocrine glands mean they release secretion through the ducts or the tubes, whereas and exocrine glands secrete what? Mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಆಗೋ ಅಂತ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಗಳಿರ್ತಾವ. ಇವಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ತದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವು ಎಕ್ಸೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಡಕ್ಟ್ಲೆಸ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಗಳು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದು ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಪೋರ್ ಆಗಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ they produce the hormone. So those are called as a endocrine glands. So next is compound epithelium. In the compound epithelium, the compound epithelium, as I told you, it is composed of multi-layered cells and it is limited role in secretion and absorption. Then ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತವೆ ಇವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ they cover the dry surface of the skin, moist surface of the buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of the ducts or salivary glands and pancreatic ducts. So ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅವು ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬಕ್ಕಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಯಿ ರೀಜನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಅಂತದ್ದು ಬಕ್ಕಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ, ಫ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗಂಟ್ಲು ರೀಜನ್, ಇನ್ನರ್ ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಯಿ ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಎಪಿಥೀಲಿಯಂ ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇನ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್. ಅದು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಏನ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವುಗಳು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಕಾಪಾಡ್ತವೆ ಏನ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಈ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾವ. ಆ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು 3 ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ತರ ಓದ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಟ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್, ಅಡೇರಿಂಗ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್. So here you can see these are the junction that provide structural and functional links between the adjacent cell. There are 3 types such as tight junction, adhering junction and gap junction. So here you can see adhering junction means ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ adhering junction ಅಂತೀವಿ. Tight junction, here you can see this blue color is tight junction. If there is a gap in between the muscles or in between the fibers, we call it as a gap junction. So yeah, coming to the tight junction, what is the main use of the tight junction andre it help to stop the substance from leaking across the tissue. ಈಗ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಇದ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಟ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರ್ತವ. ಅದ್ ಏನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಸೋರಕತ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಸೋರಕತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂತ ಕಾರ್ಯನ ಟೈಟ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿರೋದ. ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಅ tissue or between a cell. Then adhering junction, it performs a cementing to keep the neighboring cell together. ಇದು ಒಂಥರ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎರಡೂ ಸೆಲ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಎರಡು ಕೋಶಗಳನ್ನ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂತ ಕಾರ್ಯನ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅಡೇರಿಂಗ್. ಅಡೇರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ adhering junction. Next, coming to gap junction. See here you can see this is the gap junction. The gap junction is very important since it helps in the communication between the two cells. So ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್. It gives a connection between the two cytoplasma. Here very neatly in the diagram you can see it is giving the connection between the two cells. So facilitates the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasma of adjoining cell for rapid transfer of the ions, might be small molecules, might be or big molecules. So this is the functions of this all three junction. So I think so you have understood. So we'll continue the same chapter, that is chapter 7, structural organization in animals. So try to write this. So all are in the form of notes. Again, notes won't be given. When you come to the college, you have to get all the notes and show to me, children. Is it clear? So this is Maria Madam, which who has taught you this chapter, that is structural organization in the animals. So thank you, children.